So this is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course we are out here hooking you up with the best interviews. And today we have another special guest. I will just let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Angela Mwangi, or Angie the Vibe. I'm a producer, I'm a director, I'm a scriptwriter. I'm also a singer and a rapper and a musician, known as Angie the Vibe. Yeah, that's how you can catch me. Yeah.
From your Instagram bio, I can see music and film producer. So I just want to know what came first.
What came first was music. When I was small, my dad used to take me to all these hotels in Coast, and I used to be very impressed and amazed by the bands. So I used to go there and as Mamako Kando, they are the singer and I'm singing. And then production actually came a bit recently because of the music background. I always thought I was going to be like a TV presenter or something. But then when I was in campus in like my third year, I got into production and I fell in love with it. And I was like, you know what? I want to produce the shows. I don't want to be on the shows. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just talk to us about the campus and what you studied.
Okay, so I was in USIU, or I am in USIU. I'm about to graduate in a few months. I majored in journalism with a concentration in broadcast. So that basically covers radio and TV production, but I am more interested in TV production. Studying at USIU was a very different experience. That's what I can say, because I was able to be exposed to different types of things. Like I started production shoots when I was like in second year, and I was very exposed to going to all these shoots. I did documentaries for USIU. I did my own documentaries. Yeah. So it was a very interesting experience. One, because the lecturers at USIU are very open-minded, and you get to find they're not just lecturers, but they're actually practicing in the field that they're teaching in. So it's like someone who has been in the field is teaching you about their experience. So it kind of adds to the learning experience. Yeah.
So as a TV producer, I just want to know, like, what are the first opportunities that you got, if you can remember?
The first opportunity to be a TV producer. Okay, can we say like the first big thing that I did that made me a producer? Yeah. So there's this documentary for USIU at 50, of which was my first like production. And it was very scary because we had so many people to interview, so many alumni to interview, Manu Chandaria, Ben Sol, not Ben Sol, Ben of Sauti Sol, and Vimal Shah. Like there were so many people that I got to interact with on a personal level that I didn't think I was gonna interact with them. So I think USIU at 50 was my first big thing. And then now in terms of work, I think now when I'm at KTN, I work now at KTN, which is somehow a big opportunity. Yeah. I want to link it back to USIU because at USIU, the work I was doing in USIU as a second year and a third year is basically what I'm doing right now at KTN, just booking shoots, meeting people, connecting, networking. Yeah. So
Even as we are talking about TV production, you can just maybe talk to us about what does it really entail when you talk about being a TV producer? What do you really do? What does the job really entail?
Good question. So as a TV producer, your main job in the name itself is to produce. So what you're supposed to do is come up with content, come up with a show or whatever it is, plan and figure out how the show is going to run from beginning to end, write it down, script it, and then you go out to the field and make it happen. That's the work of a producer. And also, while creating that content, one thing you need to know is who your target audience is. Like, who are you producing this content for? Because you can have good content, but if you don't have a target audience, no one is gonna watch your movies, no one is gonna do anything, you know. So you have to be very specific on what type of content you're creating and who your target audience is. Because, like, for example, where I work at Standard Group, we have KTN News and we have KTN Home. So like KTN News is like 24 hours news stories. So like all they do is go to the field, get news stories, and they shoot. And then now at KTN Home, we do more of lifestyle shows, like shows that you can relate as someone who is a normal person and not interested in news. So yeah, the main work of a producer is content creation and to know what audience is watching your content.
If you're just comfortable, you can just talk to us about the shows that you produce, or are you maybe an all-rounded producer? You produce all shows. How is it?
Okay, so as of now, I am producing a show called Hotspot. It runs obviously on KTN from on Saturdays at 7:30. I also help around with some different shows. Like right now, where I am, I'm doing a show called Zingala Sporty, where we just go to the streets, we go to machinanis, we look for sports people, football teams, basketball teams, and then we interview them and get their experience. I also do a show called Behind the Music, which basically shows the life behind the musicians and the big names that you've heard about. It's also a very interesting show, which comes every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Yes, if I'm not wrong. Yes. And the other shows, maybe I'll just mention them. There's one called Everyday Woman, which is about raising up and not raising up. It's about women who do extraordinary things in our society as everyday women. Yeah. And I think that's that. Yeah. Hotspots, Everyday Woman, and Zingala Sporty. Yeah. Those are the shows I produce.
I want you to talk about how you deal with different personalities. You have said that from what you have said, these are shows that you're dealing with maybe an artist that maybe you have never met, and also just dealing with your crew. I want you to talk to us about how do you deal with people with different personalities, because of course you can't be the same, but again, you have to execute despite your difference in personalities. How do you deal with that?
That's a very good question, because even as you give me that question, I've had an experience like just a few hours ago. So let me start by saying, if you're coming into the media world or the communications world, you have to be a very good communicator. Let me use Swahili. Hawezi kuwa mtu wa catch all the time, because people out here will disappoint you. So what I can say, how to deal with different characters is maybe one, you know yourself. First, you need to know yourself as a person. You know what triggers you, you know what doesn't trigger you, what you like, what you don't like. Then from there, you'll be able to handle other people's characters. I can't give you like a specific like line, do this to handle characters, because different characters are handled differently. Like you can be going to an interview and you're interviewing someone who maybe is an introvert or is shy around the camera or doesn't like to be attention seeking, you know. So you have to come up with a way of how to make this person feel comfortable with you. You have to make them feel like they're in a safe space so that they're able to give you the information you want. Then there's also like you'll meet people who are just arrogant or like they're full of themselves, for lack of a better word. And then you have to learn how to now, it's sad, but you have to learn how to stroke the ego so that you can get the type of information you want when you want. So basically, dealing with characters, maybe the best advice I can give is first, you know your character yourself, because you know you can say you're okay, and then you go meet someone, you're doing an interview, and their thoughts are like attacking you as a person, you know, and then you catch and then you bring out such bad vibes into the interview. As for me personally, when I'm going to an interview, all I tell the people is like, me, I'm just here for good vibes and good, you know, a good interview. So when I'm briefing them, I'm telling them, you know, just relax. We're just here to have fun. And I think that's why I fit so much in the lifestyle world, because as of news, to be quite honest, I don't think I'd handle some of these people, because, you know, the way people talk. And hey, unazambiwa kitu, you're like, what? And then you spoil your name, you spoil your company's name. So there's really hakuna haja. So you just know yourself, generally where you fit, and then the rest you deal as you go. Yeah.
So over the years, we have seen the growth of the media, even in terms of we now have social media and media. I want you to talk about, do you really think because there's been saying the mainstream media is dead, the radio and TV is dead. So according to you, do you think it's true? Where do you stand in this argument?
That's a very good question. So personally, as being someone who's working in mainstream media, I can say maybe it's not that social media itself has made the mainstream media die. It's the people, yeah? And I'm going to explain further when I say the people. So the people have different likes, different interests, and they grow with the times. So like right now, honestly, not many people want to know what's happening in news. Like we're tired of news as a normal people, yeah? You have an option of not watching news at 7 p.m. Why not take the option? You get? So personally, and I hope I will not be quoted by my boss, oh my God, but I feel like as mainstream media, we need to get content that is more appealing to the people right now. You get? Like, because right now they've changed. Like the people's viewership and the people's interests have changed. People are not as daft or as uninformed as, let's say, maybe 10 or 20 years ago. Right now, people are informed. I was having a discussion a few days ago, and it said that the customer now knows more than even the manufacturer. You get? Like the customer knows what they want, and you as the manufacturer, you don't know what the customer wants. So like, how is that gonna work? I feel like mainstream media has not died. It's just that the viewership has changed. Like people have now better things they want to watch. So my advice to maybe mainstream media companies is maybe to just look at the content they create and the target audience. Again, target audience in media is very, very, very important, because you can see like right now there are a lot of what is it called, local stations coming up, like Inoro TV, there's Ramogi TV, and they have a specific targeted audience, and they're doing so well because they're targeting their target audience. So right now I feel like mainstream media is missing their target audience. They're just like, unajua wanajaribu tu kuangalia ni wapi watafit. Also cause mainstream media does not allow a lot of, like, let's say, what's the word? Like, you know, for mainstream media, you watch it with your mom, with your dad, with your church, with your kids, you know. So there's that where you have to land a content that is appropriate for everyone. You get? And like online radio or online TV, where you can have TV for just adults, TV for just youth, TV for just teenagers, TV for just kids. So I feel like that's also a challenge that they face right now, because maybe as someone who's watching mainstream media, you don't want to watch news all the time, or you don't want to watch maybe mother-in-law all the time, but your grandma there, who has not been exposed as much as you, is very, very content with mother-in-law or whatever it is that's there. So I feel like right now the basic thing is just the mainstream media needs to look at their content and to look at the viewership that they're doing. Yeah. And then also, I feel like there's enough space for everyone to thrive. Yeah. Like we don't have to be solely focused at it now because it's mainstream media. That's the only form of TV that we have. I feel like right now with online TV and online radio, the media world is growing and it's creating so many opportunities for so many people. Because let me tell you something, we can't all fit in the mainstream media. You get, like this is what fanya kazi KTN, hatuwezi fanya kazi Citizen. You get, we have to create avenues, and then with this different online platforms, we get to discuss different things. We get to open our minds. You know, discussions are more open. We're not limited to talking about certain things because, you know, with mainstream, with TV, like there's certain things you can do and there's certain things you can't do, and it's just that. So I feel like we can survive. We just need to share. Yeah.
And then just looking from, if you look back from where you started and where you are at the moment, can you see that you have grown in terms of career and also the skills that you have right now?
Oh yes, definitely. I've grown so much. As I had started the interview when I was joining campus, I wanted to be a presenter. I wanted to be on TV doing news. Nikafika hivi third year, I was like, oh, apana, do I really want to do that? And then I got into production, which is so crazy because I always used to say I'll never be a producer. That's the irony. So yes, I've grown so much. And then, you know, like with media, there's no like standard ati umefika hapa, so you know everything about media. You can't. There's no, every day you learn something new because the media is focused around people and people grow every day. So there's that aspect of like every day, each day you learn something new. You have to learn something new. And if you're not growing, you're not working, you're not doing anything. And if also you refuse to grow, utapitwa with the trends, and it's the end of you and your media career. Because now, actually, that's what is happening with mainstream media in Kenya. Let me say, for real. And this one, you can quote me. People don't want to grow. They don't want to move with the trends. You're used to this certain type of movement. So you're there. It had worked maybe for 20 years. And then now in the next 10 years, it's not working. But no, since it worked for 20 years, unataka tu kushikilia hapo. And I feel like that's what is killing mainstream media. Like they need to grow. They need to let us young people, you know, show them. And even us, when we grow, we need to let the young people come and show them. Yeah. So I feel like I have grown so much, and I continue to grow, and I pray to keep on growing. Yeah.
And then just as we are finishing up, I want you to just talk to us about the most important lessons that you learned throughout your journey.
Pardon? I didn't hear you. The most?
I just want you to talk about the most important lessons that you have learned throughout your journey.
Oof. That's a tough question because I'm still gathering the lessons. Okay, one lesson that I have learned, one very important lesson, is to be yourself. I know it's very vague and people say it a lot of times, but it's true. Just be yourself. You can't be anything better than yourself. You know, you can try to be someone, but you'll just be a copy of that. If you're yourself, you're the original, and no one else can do it better than you. No one else can be as good as, no one else can be good of being you than you. Am I making sense? Yes. Yeah, no one else can be you. You get, so just be yourself. Do things the way you know how, because inside of you, you know what is right for you. And there's one quote that I always live by every day, is that do what feels right for you. If it feels right, do it. If your heart is telling you you want to resign and start your own media house, do it. Because hakuna mtu mwingine atakuja kuambia do this. And if you're waiting for someone to come and tell you do this, hey my guy, you're gonna wait. And then another lesson maybe I've learned in this media house is be humble and connect as much as possible. Ukienda hapo na kimbelembele, very many people don't like hiyo kujionyesha hiyo kimbelembele. You have to be humble. You have to show that you're someone who people can relate with. Yeah. So I think those are the most important lessons. And also the one I had mentioned before, keep up with the times, learn how to grow with the changes, change with the changes. Yeah. Because you can't stay the same. Hata kama unatakaje, you can't stay the same. Utapitwa tu.
Yeah, and then for guys who are starting out, maybe they're starting a business, not even necessarily in the media space, other maybe just starting maybe their content creation career or something like that. Maybe you can just give them an advice.
So honestly, if you're starting out, this is like the best time to do it, because like there's no other era like this one. I hear that we are in an era where it's similar to the one we used to learn in history, G agrarian, G industrial revolution or something. G is one of them. Yeah, we are now what is equivalent to that era in now a technological version. So take advantage of all the opportunities. Let me tell you something, guys. When you get an opportunity, take it and fly. Don't run. Take it and fly, because ukianza hapa kujiambia, oh, I'm not good enough. There's always that imposter syndrome in everyone, where you want to make it perfect. And even me, it affects me so much. It affected me in my campus life, like all the time, because I used to say, oh no, I don't want to be a producer. I used to tell myself I'm too pretty to be a producer. Kumbe, that's where my passion is, And then when I got an opportunity to be a producer, looking back, if I didn't take that opportunity to produce USIU at 50, I wouldn't be here where I am right now. So when you take an opportunity, and if you see an opportunity, go for it. Don't listen to anyone. Now, this is advice I'm giving. Don't listen to anyone. Listen to yourself. Do what is good for you. Don't listen to your friends. Your friends are going to give you advice, but let me tell you, they won't tell you what is good for you. They'll tell you what's good for them in their favor. Like you can have a friend who always likes what you're doing, but not because you're doing it's because it's benefiting them in a way. So be selfish. Take opportunities to grow yourself. Don't be a bad person. When I say selfish, I'm not saying be a bad person. I'm just saying love yourself. And also, if you're starting out, one thing, it's not going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. It doesn't get easier. You just have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with things being hard, because right now, where we are in this world, there's nothing that comes easy. And easy times create weak men. Weak men create strong times. Strong times create weak men, and it goes on like that. So you choose whether you want to be weak or strong. And then one other thing is like, put in the work. You can't expect to have results without work. Like if you don't work, there's no results. Like people right now, one thing that's pissing me off with like young people who are coming up is that we're expecting like instant things, and it can't happen. Like it's really unrealistic for us to have like instant thing. Like you start a YouTube channel, in maybe 2-3 months, you're expecting to have 30K followers, and you've not done any work. You get? And when I say work, it doesn't necessarily mean actually you have to have 50 videos or 60 videos on YouTube. You can have one good video that you've researched for maybe 3 months or 2 months, but once you release that thing, it is hitting every point and every place that you discuss that brings you those 30K followers that you want. You get? So you have to be very realistic in your goals. And also, while you're being realistic, dream hard. I know this advice is a very like everywhere, but it's true. If you want to get the results you're looking for, you have to put in the work. And yeah, that's that. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Okay. Thank you, Barry. Hope to see you again.